fellas, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we are back for another edition of Big Beard Business. Today we are hopping into the latest release from the house of Hugo Boss. It's 2023 and they are back with a Boss scent, so let me tell you all about it. I'm just gonna give you my first impressions of this fragrance, and I had to pause myself. I said, time out, my boy. What are you doing? I've ordered a bunch of new fragrances and I've been opening boxes over and over again, but I have not been like diving into them and giving you my first take. So I opened up 2 fragrances. I'm gonna dive into one and I'll tell you about the other one in another video. But this fragrance here is the 2023 release. And typically when it comes down to Hugo Boss fragrances, I would wait until they hit discounters because, well, they hit discounters pretty quick. But I figured I would get you this fragrance out, although I've been sitting on this one for at least 3 weeks at the time of filming. I'm not sure when this video will come out, but I decided that I would give you just some initial things to think about with this fragrance. Now, one of the things that caught my eye immediately with this fragrance is that it featured coconut. And recently someone hit me up, whether it was on Instagram or YouTube, and said they were looking for a fragrance that had coconut that was not virgin island water, and they wanted the fragrance to be good. And I said, this is one that we should be talking about. Now, with the fragrance that is featuring coconut, and we are going into the warmer months of the year, you would expect that this fragrance could be worn during those warmer months. And if you thought that, then you would be thinking correctly. This is the fragrance that should be worn in those hotter days, spring days, summer days. You'll be good to go. Now, on the presentation for Hugo Boss Bottled Pacific, which also says to be a limited edition. All of these fragrances that are mainstream that says limited edition, I want to know how many bottles exactly is limited, because I don't think it's a limited edition. But the note breakdown happens to be on the back of the box, so thank you. Let's talk about it. They might have seen my videos and said, we'll stop them from crushing our boxes. As lemon essence in the top, you also have a salted accord. That saltiness within this fragrance is definitely detected, and we'll talk more about it. In the heart of this fragrance, or the mid, if you're a newbie here, we have coconut accord and cypress. And then in the base of this fragrance, we have sandalwood notes and cashmere wood, just to name a few. So it looks like they gave us 6-ish notes here, and I say ish because there's accords there, which means there are multiple notes put together to make one, in theory. So that's what we have here. What I would say with this fragrance on first impression, I said, this is nice. But my wife, she had a different reaction. I took her this test strip down there, Big Beard Business test strip, and I said, and she said, what is that? And I said, it's Hugo Boss Bottled Pacific. And she said, I'm going to choose my words carefully here so I don't come off like a cougar. That's not what she said, but that's what she was saying. She said that this fragrance is sexy. And that's exactly the type of reaction that you want when you are purchasing a new fragrance, specifically for one of those fragrances that are going to be for that spring and summertime, because you're going to be out and about in your tank top. You're going to have your man boots popping out there for the ladies. And this fragrance here is going to draw them in, especially if they're a little bit closer. That being said, your overall mood when wearing this fragrance may be happy, it may be relaxed, it may be confident, and it may be sexy. Overall, this one is a stylish fragrance, and Hugo Boss tends to do things right when it comes down to fragrances, but where things go a little bit crazy is the price points. Although this fragrance is not priced wildly, it's right in line with what new releases should be from a designer aspect. If you're going into a Macy's, a Dillard's, Sephora, etc., but they go to discounters so quickly, and you can probably save about 50% on fragrances like this early on. So that being said, you have to determine, is it a fragrance you want to wait around on, or is it one that's so good you gotta hit add to cart and purchase immediately, or tell the sales associate, shut up and take my money. So for me, if I'm looking at the perfect time to wear this fragrance, it's going to be daytime casual. All right, daytime casual. This is not a nighttime fragrance to me, and it's also not a formal fragrance. Not saying that you couldn't wear this one to the office, it's just saying that it's not prime for the office. Maybe a casual Friday would be best suited to wear this fragrance into the office. Now, again, warmer weather fragrance, this one is going to be one that I would reach for. And then, as I mentioned, if you caught it, this is going to be one of those fragrances that are going to be enjoyable enjoyable if they are closer to you. I wouldn't say that this fragrance is light or subtle. I would say it's crisp. It has enough character, but it's not a wide projecting fragrance, nor does it have massive sillage. Now, as I mentioned, these are my initial impressions of Hugo Boss Bottled Pacific. This fragrance here is one that I've done like a super deep dive in with 8 to 10 wearings on this fragrance. Overall, it's an enjoyable fragrance, one that you will wear and feel good about wearing. When I think of coconut and fragrances, I think of things like Virgin Island Water. I think of St. Bart's, you know, from Tommy Bahama. There are some fragrances like that. This is like this creamy coconut that just really makes it different and super enjoyable. So don't have to wear this one to the beach, but it could double down as a beach fragrance. And as the name is Pacific, they were specific about naming it Pacific. That's a tongue twister. Okay, this is an overall good scent. That saltiness is there in the top, but it's not overtly salty. It doesn't come off as off-putting. In the times that I've worn this fragrance and my testing, it has performed with moderate longevity, also with moderate projection on this fragrance. So I would say, as I mentioned, it's closer, it's clean, it's crisp. So maybe about half an arm's length out in terms of how long this fragrance would project. And then in terms of the longevity on this fragrance, you know, about 5 hours is what I've gotten with this one. And for how this fragrance is and what you would potentially pay for it in the gray market or at a discounter, you're coming out on top here. That's my initial thoughts on Hugo Boss Bottled Pacific Limited Edition. You got to give it its full name out there. Let me know your thoughts on this fragrance. Is it one that you enjoy? Would you pay for retail for this fragrance, or would you wait? That's all I got for you. As always, I'm your boy, Big BB. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn